I would start off with saying, if you ever need to talk about it, I'm here. They may brush you off and say, I don't know what you're talking about, or you just gave them that glimmer of hope that there's someone that they can talk to.
Hay que vivir sin excusas.
Algunas veces tienes dudas que tus sueños no se puedan cumplir. No encuentras la manera ni el camino que puedas seguir. No te demores.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with Ajusta Tu Corona. My name is Lillian, and this is the board. I'm so excited for you to meet these amazing women who have decided to join me in this cause. I am forever, ever, ever grateful to all of them. We work hard, we are strong, we are empowered women, and we want to bring this to all of you as well. So I'm just going to sit back and we're going to start with Milagros. And I'm just going to allow them to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves.
Okay, I knew myself before. Hi, my name is Milagros Medina. I'm living here in Connecticut. And I'm be part of this wonderful board. We want to do and create beautiful stuff for our people, helping to get the correct tools to succeed in life. And Ajusta Tu Corona provide all that stuff for the women's, men's, need. Something else you want to know, Lillian?
Oh, I'll come back around with questions. Thank you. Diane?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diane Claudio, and I used to be Maldonado. And I joined Ajusta Tu Corona because back in 2011, I was given an assignment to talk about my vision and my mission at a leadership program we had at my current job now. Well, lo and behold, in 2011, I wrote a vision that I wanted to create a victorious state of mind and all the people that I met developing one person at a time. When my sister started this 6 or 7 years ago, and mind you, she and I hadn't talked about this, the mission of Ajusta Tu Corona is to empower bilingual women and survivors of adversity to overcome victim mentalities, offering a helping hand to get their life back on track. I feel like this program, the mission aligns with my beliefs and missions of my own. So I am excited to be a part of this board.
Marissa.
Hello, good evening. I'm so excited to be here. Like, I love this. I love everybody on this board. And we've developed and continue to develop like this soul sister community, and we just love each other, which is, to me, is healing in itself. So as a culinary wellness coach, I feel that my part in this whole community and what we are striving to create fits really well, because I'm all about empowering women, and as we all are. And I so strongly believe in the cause, because I know that in some way, shape, or form, we have all been victims. And I just feel that by telling my story and being part of this community will help someone that may have a similar story or situation. So this cause for me is really dear and true in my heart, and I totally believe in all of it, and I'm in it to win it. I'm there all the way through to see this come to fruition. So thank you for being here, and sharing and being with us to hear our stories.
Sharissa?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharissa McKenney. I am a serial entrepreneur, author, mother of five. Last year, October 15th, 2023, I published a book. It was called Love You More. It was about my 7-year relationship and a DV relationship. In the beginning of that year, my first real ever talk about this book was on Ajusta Tu Corona. And I came on to talk about my book and to help other people heal through my book. And that night that I sat on this panel, I was healed. And from that moment on, I knew that this was the group of women I wanted to be around. I wanted to continue to heal in my process because I feel like you continuously heal. And I knew these were the women that would hold me when I fell, laughed with me when I laughed, cried with me when I cried. And together we had the same mission and the same purpose, was to heal other women. And when Lillian asked me, there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to join this amazing group of women to help a community of women and men who deal with DV. And so that's why I joined this beautiful organization.
So, just a little bit of background with Ajusta Tu Corona. I am a survivor, not once, but twice. So, I was in 2 different domestic violence relationships. And I can, in my heart, say, because of who I surround myself with, I feel healed, I feel full of joy, and I feel ready to help other women battle this, get their life back. Um, we all have a specialty in coaching. We are all coaches on this panel, and we all have a specialty in coaching. And together, we are bringing all of our talents, combining all of our talents to be able to help all of you out there that have suffered at one time or another from adversity, but you're a survivor and you just need that little kick or that little push to get your life back. And that's what we're all here for. So that is what Ajusta Tu Corona is about. We have many, many, many activities lined up for you in 2024. It is going to be an awesome year where we are just gonna feed into you, have your cup overfloweth, which is one of Sharissa's favorite sayings. And hopefully, no, it's not hopefully because it's gonna happen. Have your cup overfloweth with joy and be ready to join our tribe to help other women who need that little push and that love and that joy, and to know that there is sunshine on the other side.
Yes.
So I don't know, because I didn't ask this, no one was told this before the phone call, if you would like to share a little bit about your experience with adversity. Remember, it doesn't have to be physical, it could be mental. I'm going to give a little example. Like I said, I was in 2 domestic violence relationships, physical. But infidelity was my 3rd relationship. And I would have to say that that probably tore me up more emotionally than the physical abuse did. And, you know, everyone has their limits. Everyone has their strength. Everyone can decide what is, you know, what their breaking point is. And for me, that was my breaking point, was the infidelity, because they say that DV strips away your value, your worth, your just your being. And I can say that I was probably a very angry person during domestic violence. I tended to fight back a lot, but I would have to say that what made me feel the smallest and what tore my heart out was the infidelity. It made me sick. It took me over a year to bounce back from it. And one of the girls right here on the board was, you know, my shoulder to, she was my shoulder. She was there for me to cry when I needed to cry. So everyone has a different story to tell, but the important thing is to not be ashamed of it. Share it with other people and realize you are not the only one. There are there are so many of us out there. And I can tell you right now why one of the reasons that everybody is on this board. So if you give me just a second of your time, this is the main reason that everyone is on this board. Those happen to be the ones that did not survive. And I personally know 3 of them. And that is for sure the number one reason we are all here. And that is an older video that I created earlier in the year. Since then, I am in the process of creating another one, which is very, very, very long because this is an increasing epidemic. It goes on and on. It is happening every day. I get news clips every day. I see stories in People magazine every day. I hear about people going through this every day. And this is why we do what we do. So, ladies, if you would like to share a little bit about your adversity period, the stage is yours. One at a time, please. Nobody?
I'll start. I would not say that I was beat to a pulp, but every day I was told you're stupid, you're fat, and a few other bleep bleep words that I can't say here on live now. And so what happens is you start to believe that, and you start to believe that you're not worth anything. And then there are some people that don't understand, and we turn to them and they will say, that's not really happening. You're taking it too far. So going back to what we started with the group at the beginning, why did I join the group? The group stands for achievement, tenacity, and courage. And what Sarissa said, it's a continual healing. I feel whole, I feel happy, I feel blessed this day. But I have to continue to do the work to stay there and to be able to help other women get to where they need to be. So yes, I was in an abusive relationship. No one believed it, because if you saw this person anywhere on the street, oh my God, they're the nicest, most wonderful person on the face of this earth. Nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. Nobody knows what one person is taking in and what that one person starts to believe. So another reason I joined the group, to be around, like Lillian said, women that are ready to continue to move forward, because this is we're always a work in process. This is not a one and done. So I was name called, and I did get the hand a few times as well, but I cannot sit here and say I was hit to a pulp. But the words were enough to take me to a place that I don't want to be at again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, it's my turn. So I don't talk too much because I promised 2 important people. I'm not talking about that, but today I'm gonna say something. Like Diane, That person can be married for 16 years. Everybody know, everybody love him. But that person had me like in a golden cage. Whatever I want, he give it, but I don't do. I don't have the right to opinion because it's not taken consideration. He control all the money. When we walking in the street, in the supermarket, whatever, coming a friend, he never introduced me like his wife. You know, it's a situation that happened for 16 years. And what is starting the control, the money, control everything, because at the end I ended alone inside my house with not a lot of friends, finished with physical. But that time, he did it only once, not twice. That night, he slept in jail because I said, enough is enough. See, I have said that, it's going to continue. And I said a lot of stuff already. I'm not going to say no more. But I remember something, and one man is very important in my life. It was my father. When I gonna get married, he say, "You decide to get married. The first thing I'm gonna say, don't bring your problems to my house." That's something typical in parents. Yeah, I had to listen you. I listen you. But this is the second time I'm gonna tell you. If you allow him to hit you one, it's gonna continue. The hard one is the first. The second, the third is gonna come easy. In that moment when he went physical, I remember that, and I said, no more, no more. My father passed away 23 years ago, and I still listen that. I had that in my conscience, what he said, and I had to say it's true. If you accept one thing, you're gonna end up accepting everything, and that's not correct because you're important. You value like woman. It's very important to love yourself to be able to reach everything you want in life. That's everything for me. Mhm. To say tonight. Maybe later say something else.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do want to say that I don't know if it was Diane that said that, the words hurt deep, the words go deeper than the physical, because the bruises will go away, but it's the words, and I grew up with a stepfather that women had no value. Women were only good for two things. And I was never given the tools or skills to build myself up. It wasn't until I would turn 42 years old that I made the decision to leave a marriage that was stagnant. My children had already left, and I didn't even know this person, but I knew that life had more to offer. And I'm so grateful that, it's been a lot of soul searching, a lot of inner work. But, now I live unapologetically. I don't ask for permission. I don't need to have excuses. I just do what's best for me. And, I no longer worry about what people are going to say because I'm taking care of myself. And right now, I can say honestly that I'm in a place and living the life that I knew was there, but no one ever told me that it could be possible. So we have to make that decision to believe in our own skills and abilities and reach out. You need a support system. You can't live in a bubble. That's something that I've learned. You cannot live in a bubble. You need to tell your story, because from there you might even be helping someone else, and it's helping you in the interim, because you're going to attract that tribe that's going to give you the things that you need. You take a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and you start building your foundation. And once you have that strong foundation, then you could start building your house, which is your life. You know, and it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But you know what? The last thing I'm going to say is I am grateful for my history, because it has made me the woman that I am today, making all the right choices.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I was in my situation for about 7 years. And the funny thing about that was, in the beginning, it wasn't physical. It wasn't violent in any type, shape, or form. He actually was like one of the sweetest guys I had ever dated in the beginning. And then I got pregnant with our daughter, and it was like all hell broke loose. I became property. I became his, and whatever he did with his property was his business and not mine or anybody else's. And I had been secluded. So it was just he and I, no friends, no family. It's funny because I always, me and my family joke now, but my book was the first time they knew in detail what I went through. Because for the first, I want to say, a couple of years, I honestly didn't even realize I was in a DV relationship. And I know some of you may say that sounds very weird, but I didn't know. I didn't know till someone else told me. Somebody was like, he really puts his hands on you. And it started to become a physical thing in the street. And so people would say things, and I'm like, what? And it was normal for me, which was kind of scary. And not because I lived in a household where my father put his hands on us, because my father was an amazing man and he loved us very much, but I still lived in a male chauvinistic household. You know what I mean? Like you said, women do certain things, men do certain things. My father never stopped us from reaching for the stars, but we knew what our place were as women. And I think maybe that's a lot of the reason, I know a whole other story, why we did as much as we did, because we wanted to break out of that norm. But because I felt like women were seen and not heard, when I was going through this situation, I was seen and not heard. I would walk on eggshells. I would sit and try to think after the times that we went through our spats, or when, I got beat, and I've broken ribs. I've had my nose broken twice. I've had stitches. I would sit and think to myself, like, what can I do next time that will stop him from hurting me? Mm-hmm. Like, what button do I keep pushing? Like, how can I stop from getting there? And I want to tell women out there, because I know, like I thought, you think the same thing. Like, what can I stop doing that will stop him? What can I not? Maybe if I don't dress this way, maybe if I don't say this, or maybe if I shut the lights off at 8 o'clock, he'll be okay. And I want to say this. I want to look directly in this camera and say to anybody watching that there is nothing that you can do to stop him from doing what he's doing except leave. Mm-hmm. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that I had to let him go. As much as I wanted to help him be the man he always kept saying he wanted to be, I had to realize that with him, I would never be the woman that I had set out to be. Mm-hmm. And I had to let that go. And I've always wanted to write my book. It's been years. And I met Lillian not too long ago, a couple of years ago. And I say she's a godsend to everybody I talk to. So it's nothing new for her to hear, but she really did save my life. And when I first told her I was writing the book, I don't know if I was even fully done. She was like, you're coming on. And I'm like, no, I'm not, And she's like, no, you're going to talk about your book, and you're going to do this, and you're going to be great. And I have been writing my book, writing chapters, writing stories, reliving the little things I went through. And I didn't realize that I was physically and mentally going through it again. So I was agitated at home. Anything my kids said would trigger me. And I'm wondering, why am I so high strung? Why is everything bothering me? And I didn't realize that to write my book, I had to relive my book, you know, in some aspects. And so the day I came on Ajusta Tu Corona to talk about my book, I got healed that night. I was fighting all these demons, writing this book and going through the same motions. And the women on this panel fed into me. I didn't know I was empty, and they poured into me. I didn't know that I was broken. And every little word they said to me put me back together. And I felt like the jolt that I guess I needed to really come out there and say, I went through this and I'm going to help somebody else. I got from these women. And so when Lillian brought it up to me to join the board, it was like you brush your teeth every day? Yes. You know, like it was no thought in my mind that I didn't want to be a part of these wonderful group of women because I thought I was healed. And that's why I said before, it's a process. I thought I was healed, and I didn't think I needed anybody to help heal me through it. And that night when I realized I needed them more than I knew that we could do that for so many other women. I felt it. I felt that if me thinking I was healed and really being healed that night, imagine all the women who feel they're broken, how many we can physically and mentally and emotionally heal with just the words we say to one another. Mm-hmm. And that is why I'm here. And that is why I will continue to fight the good fight. A couple of months ago, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, she's actually my mentor, reached out to me and was like, you know, we have to do something for DV. I want to partner with you. It's just so crazy how many women I'm getting calling me early in the morning, late at night, trying to figure a way out. Like, you know, and I told her, I said, it's funny because 3 weeks ago, I got a friend of mine that I haven't spoke to in forever calls me. You know, she inboxed me on Instagram and she's like, can I have your phone number? I'm like, sure. She didn't say anything. We talked about, you know, things like, oh yeah, remember we did this? Nothing. She calls me around 10:30 one night and I'm like, hey. She's like, can you just talk to me? And I'm like, yeah, you okay? She's like, I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, okay. You know, I still not assuming something's wrong. And she starts crying. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, he's coming home. And immediately I went into survivor mode. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, I'm here. You know, I know you can't talk, because she's like, I can't talk. She just wanted me to be there with her. And she called me 2 days after that and she said, I'm sorry to even put my burden on you. And I said, it's not putting a burden on me. I'm here for that. That's what I'm here for. And she's like, I need help. And I said, I'm going to give you all the help I can. And I think that because we get those phone calls, all of us get those phone calls on this panel, all of us get those texts or those inboxes, or we watch something and it moves us in a whole different way, because like my mentor Liliana says, we are not victims, we are victors. Mm-hmm. We want more women to be in the victor state with us. And I know that we will. Our mission is not small. We have a mission that we are trying to move mountains. But when I tell you that these women on this panel will do so, they will do so because we are driven, we are motivated, and together we are a force. And so if anybody is looking for a force to hold them down, we are here. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. That was wonderful, Charissa. Thank you. So as board members, I'm going to ask you a question that a potential client would ask that. And I say clients because Ajusta Tu Corona is not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit business. And the reason that we are for-profit is because we reinvest in our clients and their well-being and the necessities that they need to start their new journey, which is the better half of what they're coming out of. So that is why we are for profit. We do would like to open a nonprofit, which is to open a shelter where we can provide these women with a place to stay as they are in their process of moving on to their, to their sunshine, is what I like to call it, coming out of the darkness. So, how do we guarantee, what is our policy for making sure that people's confidentiality and privacy are protected? And this goes to you, the board, because I am sure that a lot of people sometimes are afraid to speak up because they don't want others to know the situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm. As my coach says, is that love, trust relationship, and that needs to be built upon, because like you said, a lot of these women will come with a fictitious name or whatever, because they're fearful. And I don't think that's something, that's not like the important piece at the beginning. I think what we need to establish is, you come here, this is a place of support and trust, and knowing more or less what you're going through. So we know, we basically want to put ourselves in a place where, how would I want to be treated? And what information would I want to be put out there, if anything? So just always like just treading lightly and just taking care of the person first, not even the situation, but taking care of that person first. Getting to that trust and that know, love, and trust relationship.
If there's anyone out there who has a question for our board or a question for us, for our organization, Ajusta Tu Corona, please, by all means, go in the chat and type it. This chat is connected to YouTube and I believe to the Ajusta Tu Corona page on Facebook. If you're watching us on the Lilian Maldonado page, I do not have access to your questions right now, but it is connected to the Ajusta Tu Corona Facebook page and the YouTube page. So if you're watching us on there, you're welcome to communicate with us. Diane?
With me, piggybacking off of what Maritza said, I don't ask. I don't ask at all. And Lord, I'm a question person. But when a person comes to me, I do not ask. I don't want to know your name. The less I know, the better. I'm just here to help you as the human you are and do what I can. I might just pray for you. I don't have to know your name, your age, where you came from. I just want to know, are you ready? And are you, you ready to move forward? They might not be. I don't ask. Do you want to? The only question I will ask, do you want to share your story? If they don't, I don't push. Everybody has, their time, and it's when they're ready. It's not about me. I want to help you, but it has nothing to do with me. It's all about you. And another thing I wanted to say, and Maritza already touched on that as well. They're so scared. What are people going to say? You're going to reach a level in your life where whatever somebody says is none of your business. It does not matter what they think, what they say. You have to do what you have to do. I have to do what I have to do. I'm not going to, no judgment. Your word is your bond. And I'll pray for you and you will see who I am and what I'm not going to say down the road.
I think, we wouldn't ask questions as a group. I don't think any of us would. I think the easiest thing to do for them is just make sure they understand that we understand them. And see, sometimes people say, oh yeah, you might understand me, but looking at the 5 of us, did you go through what I went through? And the funny thing is, the DV has no look, it has no color, has no race. It's everywhere and anywhere. And I think for the most part, I think they just need to understand that we've been there. We've been in that corner holding our babies, praying to God that somebody will save us. We've been there trying to run away the first time and going back because we didn't plan out right. We've been in the same positions that you've been in. And so you just need to understand that this is a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's so hard to explain because I know talking about it, you wouldn't get it. But when you are around and I am a board member, but when you are around these women, us as a whole, but when you're around these women, you know it's a safe place. You feel it's a safe place. I know with Diane, I'm safe. I know with Marissa. It's unspoken of. And even if I didn't know your names, when I first met you, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was safe with you. And I think that is the biggest thing when it comes to helping other women or men that are in the situation is to feel safe because you don't feel safe anywhere else.
Right.
And I think that you will feel it when you get around us. You will understand what we mean by you are safe here. We come with open arms at all times. You will feel it. Like I said, I felt it from day one. I feel it when we have different pop-ups or different galas or different meetings. You feel it within the room. I've been in rooms with women that I know personally that have surprised me. It's things that I've never known about them that they've given in these meetings or these galas or these pop-ups that I might have known them all their lives and didn't know. But it's because they felt safe. And I think at the end of the day, that is what people are looking for because the rest of their life dealing in that situation is so chaotic and so unsafe. I think the fact that we're just a safe environment and you can feel it is what's going to make them comfortable enough. We don't care if you tell us your name is Betty Boop. As long as we know we can help you and that you know that we're here, even if you're not ready now, that we are here is more than anybody probably has done for them. Because in society, especially in minority societies, it's like whatever happens in your house stays in your closed doors. You know what I mean? When I was little, and I'm living in a mixed household, in a minority household, it was like, even when we had dinners, I would hear the adults say, I don't know why she's telling people that. She should keep that between her and her man. And it's crazy. But that was the mentality. We keep stuff in-house. We don't talk about what goes on behind closed doors. You don't tell your neighbor that your husband is beating you. That's your business. You handle it in-house. And I feel like with this group, we're saying you don't have to handle it. We are your house. We are your home. Come and give us that information because we are here to help you. And I think from that, they will be okay. So, like I said, we don't care what you are, who you are, short, tall, black, white, yellow, orange. We are here to help you. So what your name is or where you're from, or it's not important to us. What's important for us to help you heal.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And I want to just say something small regarding what Milagro said. She was not physically abused. She had financial abuse. She was not allowed to touch money, control money. Everything was given to her, but she could not make her own decisions. So across the board, it also does not care about status because even the people in the wealthiest of homes can be in the same situation. So I wanted to bring that up. Another question I have, because we work at assisting other people, and sometimes this will drain your energy. What do you do in your lives to re-energize, to fill your cup up again, to make sure that you're okay and you're not drowning in what you're doing?
I talk to y'all. No.
Okay, it's my turn now.
Go ahead,
What
Milagros.
I do to get my energy back, to concentrate, I turn to my angels.
Mm.
I pray to my angels. First, God, because He is always in everything. I pray to I ask them for God. I always calling them to come around me. In when I'm feeling desperate and sick, in the worst moment, I always find that light because they come through. They guide you. They make you feel when it's the moment to do the stuff you need. That's for me is my healing. Be with my angel all the time. That's what I do.
I was gonna say God. I believe in God, and so I pray. But I also have a mentor, and I also have a life coach. As I fail, I give. If I don't fail, I cannot give. So, the steps that I give to my clients, I also take those steps.
Mm.
And then also when I have previous clients call me to tell me how they're doing, it just fills my spirit that they're doing so well. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, self-care is huge. Like it's what I call I embody my body. I have to sit in the morning. I have my little ritual in the morning. The first thing I do as soon as my feet hit the ground is thank you, thank you, thank you. Always an attitude of gratitude no matter what is coming on or going on. Um, I suffer from anxiety because I was always thinking about things that haven't happened but I thought were going to happen. That's how I lived like most of my life until I created a ritual for myself. I meditate, I go for walks. I also have a coach. I'll reach out to someone that I know at the moment can kind of put things back into perspective for me. Again, you cannot live in a bubble. You have to create some kind of outreach. You have to have a community. You have to have rituals, and rituals is not always incense and candles and church. You create your own rituals, things that are going to motivate you and ground you you know I mean, sometimes I just sit on the floor because that grounds me. If we stop listening to our head and start breathing into our heart space and start listening to our bodies more, because our bodies do speak to us. You tell people that and they look at you like you're crazy, but your mind is always going. Your mind's never going to stop you know but if you just breathe into your heart, it will never lie to you. Your heart is always going to guide you. That is your guidepost. That's why I always say you have to stop, you have to look, and you have to listen. And I know that meditation is not for everyone, but meditation has brought me to a place that I would have never found within myself. So we have to take those moments of breath work and of stopping. We're not trains, we're not machines. We were not created to always be on the go. And one of the reasons that we get sick and disease comes us because we're dis-ease. We're never stopping, we're always going. And we may have the same thought when we go to bed, and we wake up with the same thought. And we cannot do that. Our body cannot always be on overwhelm, because that just magnifies the situation, the problem, the thought. So for me, creating my own ritual, my own self-care is important. And being coaches, we know this. And self-care may look different for everybody. So you have to find one or two things that will become like Charissa said, like brushing your teeth. You don't even think about it. You just do it. So you have to find one or two things that are going to ground you again. So that's what I do before I start my day. because you can't keep filling the cup without emptying it out, because it's going to spill, so we have to think of ourselves that way. We have to empty out to refill, and think about what you're filling yourself up with. The same minutia of every day. If you want change, you have to change. And if you can't make that change by yourself, this is why you have coaches and therapists and friends and people that are out there that can guide you. So find your guidepost and create rituals in your life.
I built a village. So in my situation, I was isolated. I had no one to lean on, to feel like I was loved by. And so as I went through the process of healing and even writing my book in the last 2-3 years, I realized that my village was so important. The people I surround myself with are so important. Those are the people who are going to pour into you. I'm very big on energy. And I mean, I went to Catholic school all my life, elementary school, high school, college, and I had lost touch. And God is different for everyone. But I had lost touch for a long time. And when I first started writing this book, I found myself reliving parts and praying to God to help me get through them. And so I realized that He is my foundation. And the only way to continue to hold that as a foundation is I had to make sure my village was also part of that foundation. So as a village, we look to God. But these are the people that I lean on, the people that's around me on a 24/7 basis, the people I speak to, what I speak to people. So sometimes it's what you say to somebody else that helps fill you in as well. So with the people around me and what I say to other people, what people say to me, and my little village is what fills me up and keeps me going as the days go on. And a great relationship with my partner. He drives me crazy, trust and believe, like everybody else. But the fact that I can talk to him, because that was a lot of it too. I couldn't talk to my partner that I was in this DV relationship with. I couldn't say anything. I had to sit down and shut up, and whatever he said was what was done. So the fact that me and my partner we started something about a year ago where we have weekly check-ins with each other. Are you okay? What's going on with you this week? Because he's busy. So just to check on each other and make sure that we're still on the same page and everything is okay, so that I'm reassured in my relationship and he's filling in me and I'm filling him in as well. So just those little things is what I do to keep me grounded and keep me pushing forward.
Can't hear you.
I don't normally mute, so I forgot about that. As far as I'm concerned, I also have a coach or two. And we have weekly meetings within the board. I feel very comfortable contacting any one of them at any time to get stuff off my chest. We all have our specialties, like I had said before. So, like, I feel completely protected and covered in any situation in this group. So that is how I de-stress, as well as I used to travel a lot. So I would take a trip, and let me tell you, for those of you who haven't traveled, you don't know what you're missing, because you totally disconnect from anything back at home, anything that when you got on that plane, you left all your worries behind. You come back refreshed with a new mindset. It's amazing. I am currently working on meditation, but it's not working very well for me. I have the go, 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 go mind. And I haven't had much look at it, but I have been attempting it every day. I think maybe it worked once where I fell into a deep sleep for 10 minutes. And when I woke up, I didn't know where I was. So I don't know if that was the purpose of meditation, but that is what happened to me. Ladies, where do you see Ajusta Tu Corona? Like, how far do you believe our organization is going to go?
How far? We're gonna create our shelter. We're gonna be stable. We're gonna be able to help people in different states. That's the way I see this Ajusta Tu Corona. I see it big in helping a lot
I
of people.
last night as I was going to bed, and this just happened last night, I saw a building. Like I was closing my eyes, and all of a sudden, like a building popped in my head, and then I said, "That building is the shelter." So I definitely see that happening.
It's so funny because one of my goals is to have a retreat center, a small country house, not for so much DV, but I see myself being open to taking in, just making it a safe haven, until I can provide them the resources needed to make sure that they're okay. And I always envisioned the program having a 1-year follow-up with that family or with that person, with that woman, with whoever. So that's how I see it. So what does that mean in answering your question? I believe that we're going to take this far, and we are going to develop the vision that you see, as the founder. And I believe that we're going to continue this mission, and I think it's something really big is going to come out of it. But as far as my goal with my retreat center, I do see that will be like my piece, of giving into this whole mission and vision of it.
I actually see us as endless. The minds on this panel have so many different ideas, that are so connective. Like, it's like we're all little parts of a bigger picture. And so I know for sure, I'm not even questioning. I know we're going to get the shelter done in no time, but I just can't wait to see all the things that birth from that. There's so many, like even your health and wellness. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, it's amazing. I just feel like we have such a fight in us to do so much for so many people that I know we're not going to stop. So we're going to get to a point and say, hey, we got to get to point A. And we're going to get there and say, I think we need to try point B. And we're going to get to point B and like, yeah, great. But let's do point C. So I feel like there's going to be so many different babies birthed from just the first one that we're looking forward to. Is that I just feel like this is going to go so far and going to help so many people. And I think, we're doing workshops now, we're doing galas, and I hope that anybody watching joins us for our next shops and our next pop-ups, because you may see our rooms filled with 50 to 100 people now, but I can't wait till we are filling out stadiums and groups of people and having these wellness activities with so many people that we don't have enough space, is where I see us going.
You see my nose turning red? That's usually when I'm at the point that I'm about to burst out crying. How can I lose with this amazing group of women that I'm surrounded by? So when we started this dream, we kept wondering, where would we open this shelter? Where would we host pop-ups? We're hosting pop-ups right now in Florida, in Delaware, in Connecticut. I'm in South Carolina and I don't really know anyone around here yet, but trust me, I'm making my rounds. I am networking because we are going to be across the United States. And I am blessed to have all of you in my life. Thank you for joining me tonight. We also have another board member by the name of Cynthia Watson. She was not able to join us tonight, but I just want you guys to know that she is also a part of the board, another amazing woman, blessed to have her in my life. We are having a soul harmony holistic journey pop-up in Delaware on February 24th. It is currently under Ajusta Tu Corona on Eventbrite. You can find the flyer in any one of our social medias. Please join us. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. If you ever wondered what these events were about, we just had one in Connecticut. And like I said, I've been doing this for 6 to 7 years, and I had a relative that had never been to one of them. And she finally went to the one in Connecticut, and she raved about it and said that she would continue to go. And I'm not saying that because she's a relative. I'm saying in general, that is the feedback that we get from any woman that attends our events. They are not only for women, men are also invited, but I think they tend to stay clear when they see that more women are involved. But gentlemen, you are also welcomed. So please join us at our event in Delaware. Shortly after that, we will be hosting one in Connecticut. Shortly after that, we'll be hosting an event. They are all different. They are adapted to what the person that is hosting it is into, is interested in, enjoys in their life. So please, thank you so much for joining us, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Wait. Remember, we always leave on a positive note.
Yes.
Mine is always never forget how amazing you are. Never forget how much you are loved. Never forget how exceptional you are. Ajusta tu corona and always keep moving. Milagros, words of wisdom.
For me, if you have to do something, do it. Don't think about it too much. Do whatever you have to do. It's your time.
Mine is very simple. You are a leader.
Oh,
How am
wow.
I a leader? You don't need to know that right now. You're a leader.
My favorite is do not let their wounds tell you who you are.
Mine is you're not a victim, you're a victor. And puff your chest up as such. You're not a victim, you're a survivor. Always remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Have a great night.
You. Bye-bye.